gaps and make sure I get it out of my life. I know a lot of you are feeling that, like, how can I be less stressed? And then it just perpetuates and you feel like you're kind of in the state of it's never going to go away. But there's little things that you can plant into your day like this. If you have a bottle of essential oil around, or if you, do some pranayama breathing, and I'll give you a little lesson on that. There's something called coherence breathing, and it's doing a ratio of breaths so that you actually will slow down your breathing and bring it manageable. And if you're breathing in a slower fashion, I think they say, many ancient times ago, they always said that the breath is relative to how long you live. So we're each allowed to have the 22,000 breaths per day. But if you're going over that, you're actually taking your life force away. So when you're breathing, you want to put I can't see it on video here, but you want to put your hands on your stomach and feel yourself expand. In America, we're always holding our stomachs in, and we're always trying to look thinner and all of that. And I'm sure in other parts of the world too. But this particular practice, it wants you to expand your breath out and expand your belly out with the breath coming in. So you want to inhale through your nose for count of 5. You want to hold it briefly, and then you want to exhale through the nose slowly, either 5 to 7 beats. And you never want to do it less than 5 out if you're breathing 5 in, because that will speed up your heart rate. And that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to slow everything down to make things feel better for you. So you take a nice deep breath in through the nose. You hold it, and you take a nice deep breath out through the nose. And you pause and you breathe in through the nose. And all the while you're putting your hands on your stomach and you're feeling it expand. You allow it to expand, and then you allow it to, dissipate and go back in. And this tells your diaphragm. Your diaphragm is communicating with your brain. The nerve that's going through up to your brain will have this interaction that says, okay, everything's okay. And that calms everything down. That doesn't call for any cortisol. It sends out the proper endorphins that you're looking for healing and wellness. So this type of practice alone, if you're feeling very stressed or just even doing it every day, it's called, there's a psychiatrist out there that called it the rescue breath. So you just, like I said, I'm going to count for you guys if you want to test it. You put your hands on your belly, and you breathe in through your nose for the count of 5. So that's breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold it. And exhale through the nose, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as I said, you can extend it to 6 or 7 if you need to. And just doing that 4 or 5 times will change a lot. It will change a lot of what is going on within your whole system and bring the endorphins in that will bring relaxation. Now, there's alternate nostril breathing too in pranayama, it can be challenging sometimes and look a little funny, especially if you have a cold or, if you're in front of people. So it's one of those that you probably want to do when you're in your office with the door closed or at home. You're going to take your thumb and you're going to place it on your nostril, and you're going to breathe in to the open nostril, and then you switch over and you breathe out. Now it's like a cycle. You're going to breathe in, and you're going to breathe out. And you're going to breathe in. And you're going to breathe out. So you can go back and forth doing this. And what happens is that you're actually cleansing and revitalizing your lungs. You're stimulating the right and the left side of the brain. Believe it or not, your brain is affected by your breath. And it's bringing automatic calmness because it stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system. And it's just really a pleasant way, if you have your nasal passages cleared, to instantly bring about a sense of joy, all of the things I've been speaking about, joy, emotional wellness, physical wellness, you feel calmer. So it's like an instant, it's better than taking medication. I mean, in some cases, if you are on medications, I'm not advocating to just jump off them without your doctor consulting with you first. But I will tell you that if you do that practice, and you will see instant relief for a lot of stress when you just change your breath like that. It's amazing the effects on your whole body and how the breath can impact. And just doing these little tricks with pressing your one side of your nostril closed and focusing on the breath and doing the counts in, the ratio breathing. And, there's so much more information out there about that, but it's good to have a coach to help you through if something, you feel like it's you're trying things and you're not sure if they're effective. It's good to have somebody to talk to about it and work you through it and help you also reframe things, which brings me to another way to combat stress. And that would be reading something that, really implants different thoughts in the brain. So, have a Success magazine featured Tony Robbins, which I love Tony Robbins. I think he's so great. And he actually was talking about the plan for 2019, how to plan the best year ever. And, it's like we always want to try to strive for that. But one thing that he brought in that I always talk about in my teachings is that in order to change things for yourself, in order to improve things and make things better, you need new types of thought systems. You need new information, and you need different perspectives. And so this book really was impactful for me. And you can see I've got tabs in here that kind of helped me jump right to sections that helped me immediately. I have little bookmarks in all of these types of things. So, and this particular book is great. It's called Daily Meditations for Practicing the Course. I love A Course in Miracles as well. And this is written by Karen Casey. And so, here's a good one. If you're not somebody who's religious, I hope that you can just switch the language for, whatever belief system you have. But this particular text is based on more of a Christian viewpoint. So, as I said, you can always change it to whatever your belief system is, whoever is your higher power. So this particular one is based on fear. And it says, we have a lifeline to God. Nearly every day, something happens that triggers fear in us. People criticize us. Family members don't answer our calls. Job interviews get canceled. We shudder with fear trying to manage the everyday uncertainties. If we'd only remember that we have access to the perfect manager for every situation. Our experiences here in this illusionary world have been requested by us. That doesn't mean we'll know how to handle any of them. It simply means that we need to learn. While in these bodies is contained within the situations that beckon, we'll assimilate them far more successfully if we seek the company of the Holy Spirit while we explore and absorb them. Nothing that comes to us can really harm us if we see it through the eyes of God. And this perspective is always with us. It's a choice to actually have that perspective. If we're filled with fear or anger at any time, we need to tug on our lifeline. God can't help us ever if we don't initiate his involvement. And then there's an affirmation for this particular passage, and it says, I will have peace today if I seek the involvement of the Holy Spirit. So, as I said, you can change that however you like, but just having that kind of text to work with, that kind of information to work with, and then taking a moment and getting into alpha brainwave state through meditation can help you resolve a lot of the energies of fear and stress, and knowing that there's choices beyond, okay, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to pay that bill. It hasn't even happened yet. They're going to shut my house, the gas off to my house. They're going to come and take my electricity. I'm going to lose my home. None of this has happened yet. And you might be already going there. If you find yourself going there, and even if it did happen, I've often shared about my illnesses that I've had, and I had one last year where I had spinal meningitis and Lyme disease, and I was hospitalized, and it's pretty scary. It's scary stuff. I had Bell's palsy. This whole side of my face was, totally frozen. I think I resolved pretty well. Sometimes I see a little bit of effects still. But, as I sat in the hospital and everybody was like, oh my gosh, this is awful. You must be so scared. I really didn't feel fear. I'll tell you that. I felt, anxious to just get out and be out and about again. But I kept saying to myself, if this is something that's going to affect me for the rest of my life, or if I don't even make it out of here because of the meningitis, at least I know that I've been doing all I can in every moment to stay in a space where I'm doing the best I can. I know that I sometimes make mistakes. I'm not perfect, but I am doing everything I can to help, provide for myself, self-care. I'm trying to help others. I work at that in every aspect, from my day job to with my children to what I'm doing with this outside project, the Mind Health Coach program. And, it's very fulfilling. And if you can find whatever inspires you, whatever brings you passion, and whatever makes you feel that sense of purpose, that is really the life. That is really what brings us such greatness in each individual soul that comes here. When you can find your purpose and your passion, that comes the purpose. When you've identified the purpose, and it can change too. I've noticed myself, like, I thought, oh, I'm going to do this and that, and like, it's going to impact all these people. And sometimes I've had a little impact in some ways, and sometimes those situations that didn't quite pan out the way I was visualizing have actually brought me more of a learning curve. Like, it's brought me new information. It helped me grow. So just that alone, I feel, that's significant, because I've made an impact in my soul. And, I think that's really important. I believe in soul growth. I believe that this is my own belief system, and I know there's a lot of other people that share this viewpoint, but this whole thing is the package. It's the package where the real beauty lies. And the real beauty is your soul. And the beauty of the soul is how our energy is being projected and played out through this vehicle. This is a vehicle of flesh. We dress it up, we make it look great if we can. Sometimes we don't feel like we look making it look great, but this is where we're at. This is who we are in this lifetime. But I know from my own experience that we are more than just this. When I had my near-death experience back in 2001, and I had the horse accident where a horse reared up and fell over backwards on top of me, I had an experience where I was still somewhere. I wasn't this. I can't explain a lot about it, because I wasn't meant to be there too long. But for some reason, I did experience what I did, and I can communicate this. And that's another reason why I'm able to, it's not that I'm saying, death doesn't scare me at all. I mean, yeah, I'm a human. I don't want to experience pain. I don't want to experience suffering. I don't want to experience death. I want to always be in this vehicle and healthy and doing well, but that's not the reality. I have to know that at some point I am going to transition, just like a lot have before me, and all of you out there. And with knowing that, there comes a sense of, okay, a little fear and stress, but hey, who knows? I keep hearing it's so wonderful, and I got to touch the energy that's involved there, so it was pretty great. But I'm glad to be back, and I really want to share that connection with everything that is around us, especially the nature aspects of our world. It's just so it's so cleansing and soothing when you tune into nature. I don't know anybody that says I don't like hearing, nature sounds, the waves, birds, trees clicking in the winter. I enjoy all of it, and I'm sure there's others out there that do too. Fire. I was sitting in front of my fireplace last night listening to the flames crackle, and it was just beautiful. It was just amazing. So I have a lot of that in one of my meditations that are available on my website, mindhealthcoach.com. There's different mooditations, they're called. You can check that out. I also want to talk quickly about my book, Create Your Legacy with Mindfulness. There's an opportunity I've got to be pitched to like 134 publishers, and I'm really excited about this book.